Hello.
Is that Spider-Man? Spider-Man, hello. Hello, Spider-Man. Hello.
That was a Spider-Man hello. That was
Yeah,
a
man.
whoa.
What's going on, brother? How you doing, man?
Good. How are you doing? I'm gonna get a
Well,
new patch, and it's gonna be an MC Comics patch over my eye, and that'll be the new cool thing.
that will be. That's a Machete Comics one. I'm just gonna share this. Give me a second. I'm trying to get the tech because it's not a. It's a thing that's happening right now. Oh, look at that. See, I've already doubled down on this thing. I'm just got to connect it to the old Facebook so the peeps can, watch what's going on here. But anyways, welcome everybody. It is the preseason. Let's call this our preseason show. Yeah, preseason episode 2 show. That's about to happen. Very,
It's like an
very.
exhibition game for hockey. We're getting ready,
Yeah, yeah. We're kind of
but it's more
getting
exciting.
the bugs out, as you can possibly see here. Yeah, so it's kind of, it's
You're at
it's
the
just
Holiday Inn.
I'm at the Holiday Inn.
Living instant at the Holiday Inn. Like
Yeah,
the Gene Simmons song.
it's I'm at the Holiday Inn in Middle America. I'm in Ohio, of all places. So
Ohio.
Ohio, eh?
Ohio.
So I'm just hanging out. We kind of have we tried to. We're in New York City tomorrow, which is weird. September 11th, 20th anniversary. I got a day off in the city, so that's going to be weird. But
Be
I
quiet.
was hoping we'd make it, and I have 2 days off there. I was trying to find flights. Listen, let me tell you about flying into Chicago and flying out of Chicago. It's a big giant pain in the ass.
Nice.
So I decided to do the submarine ride last night and stick on the bus to Middle Ohio. And here we are hanging out, and then we're leaving at midnight to go to New York City, and I'll be there tomorrow for the day to hang out. So, yeah,
You're
kind
in
of
the
back on
States.
tour, chilling out, man.
Yeah, I like watching that show, Border Patrol, and they show the people trying to get across the border and people smuggling things in.
Yeah.
It's addicting. I like it. If I had another job too, I think that another fun job would be to be one of those guys who gets the packages come through. Even though one might be a bomb or something, but that'd be pretty exciting. Is it
My
weird that I
buddy,
want to do even more?
my buddy Dan, well, I won't give it. My buddy out here, I got 2 guys that are border guys in my life out here, and they thoroughly enjoy it. So
And
it's,
hopefully they're not dicks like these guys I see on TV, man, troubling kids for like gram of weed just to scare them. But I think that's
I
going in.
believe that comes with the training.
Yeah,
So,
that's too bad. I feel
but
bad for him. It's funny though
yeah,
because I can see them. Oh, we got marijuana, and they pull it out, and I can see, and it's like, okay, well, that's a gram you did, and they make it look like it's going to be a big deal. But if you see the amount, you know that the law they have to be more than that.
I think they've
Playing it.
had to stop filming the show. There was a lawsuit, so those are all reruns
Oh,
now. Yeah,
bummer,
it's all done.
bummer. Well, that
I
the
gotta do
live show's
this.
over now.
The great thing
Wait.
about being out here is I can find this stuff anywhere I go. Look at that.
Oh, there you go.
It's
I don't
cold.
have any beer. I think my daughter was going to grab me a couple beer when she went out, but I haven't seen her. She was supposed to go out and go to the pet store and get something. And I don't know.
We are
I haven't
live
seen her.
on the YouTube. We're live on all the Facebook stuff. We are live over at Twitter. We're live at all the places. Big thanks to our friends at DeanBlundell.com. Holy shit, number 2 news in the country. So Rogers and Chorus, not so happy about that, I'm guessing. But independently, he's got one of the best shows in the country right now, and it's kind of must listen to. And
That's awesome.
big props to him for continuing to support us and have us on his network. So thanks, Diener. Appreciate it,
Cheers,
buddy.
buddy. I was talking,
See you at the.
I was talking to Mini Diener today, the young Diener.
You got a little mini Diener? Yeah.
Yeah, I was talking to the young Diener today. He's a rad dude, man.
Yeah,
I'm
man.
working on a project with a new musician. I don't want to spill too much of the beans on it yet, but it's gonna be a rad project. So I'm doing
Yeah.
a new art deal. I'm doing. Talking to a
Wicked.
rad dude today. It was good. It was good. And then
How's the
of
summer
course,
going over there in Kingston?
I was gonna say this is the weekend, right? So our university and college students are back. So it's the countdown to another melee of shutting down the main street and parties, and the cops are getting ready. They got their
Yeah.
$2,000 ticket books ready. There's
Yeah.
2 kids that started a party last weekend that are fighting it, and they have a FundMe page to get people to fund them so they can get a lawyer to fight.
Fucking idiots.
Having a party where they weren't supposed to have a party. They're just going against some of the rules. But they're doing. It's funny because I used to party like that too. I was never into protesting or anything like that, but I like partying. But it's funny because I see you can see people focusing in on a few folks, and there's this girl, and she was on top of another dude's shoulders, and she's like, "Woo! I'm young." Sorry, this is my
your
my
young girl?
imitation
Okay,
of,
let's see.
of a young
Let's see
girl in
this.
college, university.
Okay.
Woo! I'm young and I'm in college. F you! F you! F you! Then the cops come up to her, and she's like, "No way! F you!" Well, the guy just gently puts her down, and the cops grab her. I don't know what she thought was going to happen if the guy was going to keep her up on top there. He politely puts his hands behind his back and goes away, and the girl's still going woo woo, getting taken by the female police officer. By the time they get to the cop car, this girl realizes I'm going to get arrested, and she stops, and she's almost like, oh my gosh, like no, and you can see her pointing back to her friends. No, I got to go back there. But right up until the point that she was about to be arrested, she's like pointing at everybody and being all sassy, and then she got arrested.
And it's something. So, and
it's just funny to see how the response. See, I'm really getting into history and to humanity lately, especially with a lot of the writing that I'm doing, the stories I'm doing. So to see the reaction of that, say, like 20-year-old girl, right when she realized, it's like you can see exactly when his heart breaks in the Simpsons episode, right?
Yeah.
You can see exactly when this girl's noggin.
Yeah, when she realizes exactly the moment she's never going to be allowed to travel into any other country ever again because she's got a record.
Just about to get arrested, and she slams on the brakes, and she's like, "Oh no!" And she's pointing back, like, and the lady officer's like, "Nope, no." First, she was cheering everybody, like, "I'm getting arrested, woo, party on!" And then when reality hit, but you can see the moment reality hit, so I thought that was kind of cool.
Yeah,
it's all happening soon though. 7:00 here, so they'll be partying again soon. So
we call them woo girls.
Woo girls, yeah, I can see that.
Right, everything is woo.
Yeah,
woo.
So when I go downtown to the comic book store, it's funny though because you see some of the younger kids. I was driving down with my wife, and there was 2 girls walking up, and they were in their lingerie, and just like a tiny little, what do you call those, like, it's not like a house coat. It was like a little
plastic bag. Yeah.
No, dude, it was like no. They were like it looked like they were headed to film some kind of adult movie, But they're all like, do. And then there's other guys that are out in their front yards, and they bring their barbells out there, and they're pumping their weights on the front yard there, and on the busy road when you're driving by, and flexing in the windows of cars when they go by and stuff, and dun 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 dun. Look at my biceps, that kind of thing.
I'm pretty sure, and I'm not the only one that felt this. I'm pretty sure the other day, some kind of adult production was happening in the hotel we were staying in. And it was a nice hotel. It was a nice hotel. But I remember coming into... Let me rephrase that. I remember walking into the elevator. Hey, yo! I remember walking into the elevator. And all of a sudden, this group of... I don't know. Call them TikTokers. Kind of rolling into the elevator. And there was a wee walk of shame happening amongst 2 of them. Oh. And then the other group that was there was kind of like, high-fiving a bit. And we were like, And then a whole bunch of people from the tour were like, does anyone else think? And then the next thing you know, there was like 10 of them in the lobby. And they're all a mess. Like this girl that got arrested. They're all like, I can't find my key. And he was supposed to give me the key and this and that. And the guys are all huddled around a camera. And we're all like, yep, okay. Like something was going down here in the hotel. Yeah, it was, America. Well, it's not just America, it's Canada, but whatever. I'm in America and I'm seeing some crazy shit, let me tell you that. That's
I bet. I like it. I bet there's a lot of videos being made with the college kids right now too. We just don't want to see all of them. I'll see a lot of them tonight. They'll be on the streets.
Yeah.
They'll be starting.
Oh my God. The Monday Night Walk of Shame. Speaking of cool shit, I sent you this the other day, but what'd you think of this? Check this out. 1, 2, 1. Always killer live, man. Always thinking about you the whole time, brother. I was like, geez, how can I be at a Green Day show without Machete here? But yeah.
Rad.
Yeah, and just
so you had a day off and you decided to go watch a concert.
Well, okay, it was in Seattle, and I had like that 3-day period off between, like I had a Seattle show, and then we had a Chicago like 4 days later. All my bosses were in town in Seattle, and one of my main mentors was actually in town running that sort of like, one of the main guys that I do all of my work with and for. And so it was just kind of conveniently placed. So I was like, I gotta go. And the initial plan, obviously before the borders were shut down, was to have Lee and the kids and everybody come down, and we were going to do a whole thing and stay over the night, watch the show. They head back. I headed off to Chicago, and they still can't get across yet. So it's kind of one of those things. So the tour had already gone, the plans had already been made. So I just stuck around, and then saw the show and kind of hung out a little bit, and it was productive, and it was good to see Weezer.
Yeah, for sure. How could it not be? That'd be
I
great.
had to send Taylor. I had to send your daughter Taylor a little note though, because I'm like, I don't get Fall Out Boy.
Oh no, I don't think. I think Fall Out Boy kind of no. After their second album, everything changed, right? They kind of went fashion ways, like a fashion band. I don't know.
It's the weirdest thing, because I mean, wise on whoever decided to put that package together, because
Yeah.
we've all seen Weezer. We don't see Green Day very much, but you see Weezer on almost everything.
Hmm.
Um, they're the ultimate opening band. They're the ultimate 1 hour set. You know what I mean?
Hmm.
And um, but you don't see Green Day very much. And Fall Out Boy, amongst the Taylors of the, I mean, they're
Hmm.
almost getting in. Someone mentioned they're almost getting into classic rock territory. Fall Out Boy, they've been around that
Oh
long,
wow.
and that's
Yeah,
kind of
yeah.
weird. And I'm listening, and I'm like, yeah, they got a lot of hits, but they're not really, to me, they're hits that were. And please, I have never written a hit, so I'm not ripping on any band that's been successful like that. But let me
Hmm.
just say the difference between Weezer's hits and Fall Out Boy's hits were drastically different.
Yeah, for
And the
sure. Right.
Fallouts were almost sort of like the American version of CanCon.
Mm.
You're kind of, well, we got to get something on the radio. You know what
Yeah.
I'm saying? And then they added a whole bunch of pyro and blew a bunch of shit up, which
Oh
distracted
wow.
from the fact that I didn't think that they had really any.
Well,
They don't have any songs.
yeah,
So
they dance around a lot, don't they? Don't they like? Aren't they really like swinging with the
I,
guitars and dance around a lot?
it was just it's just odd to me that they
Right.
became so big. And I mean, listen, kudos. There was 45,000 kids singing every single word.
Yeah.
They just don't strike me as that band that's like
Hmm.
that I want to, you know, listen to. And I'm not being
Hmm.
old guy here, but I just was like, they just don't, you know, have the songs. But clearly they're selling tickets, so there you go.
Yeah, yeah. Oh, I don't know. I liked that kind of sugar. We're going down swinging. Yeah, they're okay, But that's that one album. I wouldn't listen to them
Interesting,
anymore. I don't
interesting.
listen to very much stuff anyway.
A
I'm not
good
a
mix. I don't know. You got the Motley Crue thing going out next year with like Motley Crue, Def Leppard, Poison, and Joan
right.
Jett. That's not really crossing over. Everyone there is going there to see all, like you're not adding like Simple Plan to that, you know what I mean, or
No.
anything like that. It's kind of for like
Yeah.
for nostalgic acts. You know exactly what you're going to get there. So
Hmm. Yeah, we have
that's
a Cancer Bat show coming up here in a little while.
ooh
So I'm gonna go check out that. I'm on I'm on the, I keep forgetting I'm on like the board of directors or whatever for the live music here.
wicked.
I don't
Where are they
really do
playing? There's
much.
a Mark show, Kingston show.
Oh yeah, well that's what I mean. I'm in on those ones. Yeah, it's the Kingston show here, so I can't remember
Yeah,
the name of the venue. But there's been a lot more announced, so the live music's coming back to Kingston, especially with the university students here, right? They're all going to come out in
yeah,
drones, and they're all
yeah.
crazy. It's
I
fun.
was what's it's interesting because I'm kind of down in America. It's like we've got general admission floors. We've got um, GA floor. We've got it's just kind of a free for all. The only show I did that was mandatorily vaxxed was Portland. Portland, you had to have a
Oh yeah.
vaccination to get into the show. And then let me tell you how weird that was, because I just
Mm-hmm.
come through Texas, where it was like a full on. It didn't matter.
Hmm.
But being in an arena and every single person around is vaxxed, and I'm like, this is really weird feeling. It shouldn't necessarily be that feeling. It should feel normal, but it didn't feel normal. It felt like
Hmm.
I'm in Oz or something, because I've never
Hmm.
seen that many people together that had had gone down that road. But
Right.
Canada's a bit of a different entity, so
Hmm.
smaller capacities and things like that. So it's going to be interesting to see what happens up in Canada when we get up there.
Yeah. Well, we're all rad people here, right? Nobody's gonna do it. Well,
Yeah,
I saw a small wrestling event. I did a little coverage on it there, and uh, and it was great. And it was great because the people that went to the event were respectful of everything they did. Now we were in this hot little part of the arena, and you had to pull your mask down, or else you were gonna like. There
yeah,
was no way you could sit there,
yeah.
but we were all separated from each other. We all sat far, like we kept the spaces, and made sure of it. It was everybody was really smart about it everywhere we went. So that's what I really appreciate is when the people around you are just being respectful. Like whatever you believe in, man. But be respectful, and also like don't spread like false. The worst thing is when you see somebody that you like and you respect online, and they share a link, and you're like, oh boy, wow, that's not even true,
Facebook
pal. Like,
doctors, Facebook doctors.
yeah, like you see somebody that what's that guy, Chris Sky, right? I saw
Fucking out of
somebody
my brain.
supporting him and sharing his video, and I was like, dude, that guy's not even. He's just looking for publicity and trying to make money off everything. You know what I mean? Like, oh, so I saw somebody post, and I was immediately like, oh, dude, that's
It's gotta
It's
go.
hard. Anyway, you know what I mean? Like when you see, like, but I'm
Yeah.
fine. If, don't mention it to me. You know what? Like that's I mentioned this before because you know me. I pick my battles and when I wave my flags and
Sure.
stuff. But I still have opinions. But I don't want to argue with people about it either because it always goes down a wrong road. So that's what I was gonna say. Like if I've had my shots taken and I've had my shots and I feel confident and safe. And if you disagree with it, well, you disagree with it. But you know, don't one thing. Don't protest the hospitals, man. That's really
Well, that's
bad.
what's happening very badly in Vancouver. It's like, okay, wait a minute, you're protesting, but that almost to me is like a different kind of thing that's going on. I don't know, because it's and we don't get too political as we've discussed on the show, but it's a bit like you're protesting at the hospital and inside the hospital treating all of your people.
Yeah, no, it's ridiculous. And there's people.
And if anyone wants to come at me about this, and I'm going to get on it for 1 second, okay? If anyone wants to come at me about this, I've been on tour.
No. Who wants? You know, who's going to argue about clogging up the hospital?
You'd be fucking amazed what people do.
No, but the people who watch this show, the people who watch this show.
But it's on the Blundell Network, and we are poking the stick on a daily basis amongst that group. But let me just say this for the record: I've been on tour for a month-ish, 2.5, 3, maybe 3 weeks. I've spoken to 3 doctors on this trip, okay? 2 of which were Democrat, 1 was Republican. I'm interested in absolutely everyone's opinion. I'll break down everything. I totally understand if you know, number 1, if you have a condition, totally understand if you can't do it. Mm-hmm. Number 2, if you're reluctant, okay, fair enough. But, you know, take your time, do what you got to do. But, like, going into this full-on, like, hatred and anger that's happening right now, I've never seen anything like it, where it's just brutal, and our freedoms and all this stuff. I'm like, hey, hold on a minute, okay? You're not taking freedoms away of something that you're not allowed to into anyways. So it's here's the thing for me. I've spoken to 3 doctors. Well, more than that. I worked for a doctor for the last year. Mm-hmm. But the most important opinion that I was interested in of the doctors that we've had out on this tour for various reasons to speak to, the Republican doctor was the one that I was interested in the most.
Oh yeah, of course.
And I said to him, all right, you're a Republican doctor, you work in medicine, and you work in ER, you work in all this stuff. Tell me please what's going on. Mm-hmm. He said, the only people that we have in our emergency room are unvaccinated people. Yeah. Now listen, that makes sense. I'm not saying go. I'm saying from a Republican doctor. And I said, well, what about all the other doctors that are countering you? He's like, listen, everyone has an agenda. He goes, I'm more of a business Republican. I'm not a God-fearing Republican. He goes, I'm more of a, I'm more of a financial Republican. He said, but listen to me. He goes, this is what's happening. And the other doctors that are going about it, there's 5,000 doctors around the world that are sharing that opinion. And then there's 1 million other doctors that have the other opinion. Mm-hmm. So the 5,000 is the message that's getting pushed to the million. And for me, that is like dangerous, because usually you've got a 50-50 split. And the
thing is that people are going to make their own minds up, and we'll figure out who's right, who's wrong down the road. And as I mentioned before, like, you know, if you choose not to get the shot and you get sick, well, hopefully, you know, you stand by enough of your morals to suck it up and do what's right. Like maybe try the home remedies before you go into the hospitals and clog it up. If you're vehemently against getting the vaccination, and I know you have the right to a hospital still, but maybe you might want to try a home remedy and a whole bunch of Tylenol first, just to, you know, just to kind of back up your own beliefs a bit. But at the same time, you know, the world's a very strange place. Hi, Jenny. The world's a strange place, man. Like I've always thought UFOs existed. Everybody thought I was crazy. The government said they weren't. Now the government is now saying that UFOs do exist. So I don't trust the government. Hell's no. Everybody I hate the government, man. Like I judge people on whether I think I could sit down and have a beer and a conversation with them, or like a coffee. I don't judge them on what I think they're going to do for everybody in the entire Canada or the province. I judge people on whether I can sit down and I can enjoy a beverage with them, or smoke, or whatever. That's my thing. Unless
they're, you know, to me it's just like, unless it's completely, there's no merit to their argument.
Oh, well, then I wouldn't enjoy the situation, though. Yeah, but then I wouldn't enjoy. That's my point. Is that if I sat down with somebody and they're being racist through the whole conversation, well, I would not enjoy that conversation. I'd be out of there. But that's how I look at people and judge them. Like I haven't, as I mentioned, I got my shot because my doctor's fantastic. I saw my doctor save my wife's my wife's life twice. So
Yeah.
if I'm going to take it, this is my point of view. If I'm going to take advice on any health matter in the world right now, I'm not going to listen to the government. I'm not going to listen to somebody on Facebook. I'm going to ask a person who I witnessed and watched save my wife's life twice. And she told me to get 2 shots. So I got 2 shots. So if
Exactly.
I don't see how anybody could argue that with me.
Exactly.
So I wouldn't. So here's the thing. That's kind of I have a very personal angle on my side. Other people might have that on the non-vaxxing. All I ask and all I suggest is that if you're vehemently against vaxxing, when you get sick, try the home remedies. There's a horse worm pill, I guess, that works. A lot of
there's
Tylenol.
fucking not. There's
dude,
not.
I'm just telling you. If you're
The
vehemently
horse pill is killing people and making them impotent. So,
okay, well, maybe people need this is what I'm saying. This is what maybe somebody needs to learn. Dude,
no.
This has been going on throughout history.
I'm over it. I'm a bit over it. There's enough out there. There's enough out there that basically tells you what you need to know.
Yeah.
And that's it.
Keep it out of the hospitals. If you don't believe in the vaccination,
but you don't have a choice. If you get that sick, you don't have a choice.
Kind of silly to say take horse pills.
I understand that, but I'm like, holy fucking
I'm
Joe
like that
Rogan.
character in the I'm like that character in the Kevin Smith movie that people don't all
Here's a pill for you.
But wouldn't you agree though that if you do get sick and you're vehemently against Bohemian, I like that word.
It's too late though,
you're
Chris.
Against it, stay home and try and fix yourself.
Here's the problem. And this is the stupidest thing of all of it, okay?
Mm-hmm.
If they get really, really, really sick,
right?
They have to go to they're like, I got to go to the hospital to get fixed.
Well, that's what I mean.
The doctors are going to say, to make you better, we have to give you this IV full of, antibiotics. And no one goes, okay, I don't know what's in it, but go ahead because I just want to feel better. Here's the problem. The people that end up in the hospital, it's too late. And the ones that are dying from it are basically, and these stories aren't getting pushed enough, on their deathbed going, fuck, I fucked up. I'm sorry.
Well, yeah, I know, but that's the thing. There's too many people in the world right now to make that kind of a mistake, in my opinion. There's way too many people going on. There's way too many issues in the world. There's way too many idiots, like the protesting the hospital.
Ridiculous.
It's as I say, like I was looking back, Brent, at things like in Egyptian times and how these kind of things, man, or if you say you got a tribe out in the jungle who's never made contact with humans, and you send me in there or you in there, dude, they're all going to die. They're all going to die. Because unless you go in and get them shot. So it's a common sense thing. So that's again why my whole deal is nobody's going to believe everything, but just don't protest the hospitals and don't back them up. If you're not, especially if you believe COVID's fake and you get it, you better try and fight that at home for a while first, man, or else that's the problem.
You're going to have people that deny it.
Because
the argument on that side,
that you have had COVID. We should, because people.
Yeah, and I just got over it 3 months ago.
Okay, well, that's something that needs to be said, right?
I've said it the whole time. I've been 18. I was 18 months of shit, and I didn't start feeling. And I'm not. Again, I'm not going on the science side of it to say that they coincide with each other, but I am going to say that I didn't feel 100% until after I got my first shot.
Right.
Now, Bonzi Network is dying a slow death because he got the Johnson & Johnson, and he's not happy about it. Bonzi was like very anti-vax.
Why did he get that one though?
That's all they had where he was in America.
Oh.
I told him, I sent him a note going, you probably should have messaged me first because I would have told you to go Pfizer land. But anyways, the Johnson & Johnson. So he was already anti going into it. And now he's like into this whole thing where he's just taking a terrible reaction. And he's got like nerve pain. He's got all this stuff, and they've got him on all these meds. So Bonzi, heal up, buddy. But like, yeah, he was anti against it, but then he went and got it after being on Dean's show and kind of listening to the doctors. And unfortunately, he did take a reaction to it, and he at least took a reaction to the Johnson & Johnson, which is what everyone that I know that has reacted to that Johnson & Johnson.
Okay. Well, see, and maybe some people are only getting that kind of information, which is really sad. But see, this is the way the world works. There's people that live out there that only get certain information because maybe they're 15. Yeah. Or they're like, or they're old or whatever, and they don't get
They don't have the
Excuse me,
internet.
they're not educated. Like it's funny. I never would have thought that I'd be the person saying that. I'm thankful that I'm actually educating myself these days, especially history. I have learned so much about disease and just how it affects the world through history.
Yeah.
And how many times these things have happened. But anyway, so that's the thing with me and COVID there, dude. I think there's a lot of personal levels. See, my thing too, dude, is I hate to see everybody upset.
Well,
You know what I mean?
It's
Like, that's
never
why I
going to
hate
end,
elections.
Chris. I
Pardon
just
me?
don't think it's going to end on
No,
that side of it. I really don't. I'm just going to share this show with my daughter. She wants to know what we're doing, so I'm just going to send her this little link here. But yeah, keep going. It's never going to end because I'm just seeing people angry as hell down here, and I just don't see it's
I don't
going
see
to.
that. I see. It's funny because I mentioned this to some friends of mine who come from other areas in Ontario, and they're mentioning some just how bad areas are, and it's like, wow, I don't see that here. And I know Kingston isn't perfect, man. There's people missing, there's people getting stabbed, there's partying, but man, I tell you, like in our area of the West Side here in Kingston, it's really awesome, and I kind of forget some of the narrow-mindedness and the uneducatedness and just the whole pointing the finger. That's why I hate elections, because some people choose their vote because of how much money they make, and they don't make enough money to vote for certain people. And then you got the other people say, well, you have to vote for this people because of this, and it's like, dude, I don't live your life. There's no way that person A could vote for person B. So I love the fact that everybody has their own little stories and layers to what they're doing in life. And I try and respect that as much as possible, as long as you're not infringing on other people. That's, a key thing.
Well, that's the
like,
whole problem now, isn't it?
I know it is, buddy. I know. And that's why I'm saying, like, if you get sick and you're you better at least stay home and start.
Hey,
try
and
fight
it. If you've been anti-vaxxed, if you've been anti-anything, and you get sick, and you're so sick that you don't know what to do, sorry, the hospital's not open for you.
It
You
does
had your
exist.
choice.
So, like, the thing that I hear is when people say, like, COVID doesn't exist. That's like, you had COVID. You are,
Bring it on, people. Bring it on. That's all I'm saying.
COVID. A lot of people, when I hear that, it's kind of like, oh, come on, it obviously exists.
Well, it's moved away from COVID denying to freedoms and rights, and I'm like, all right,
oh, I know it has. And I'm not getting
same
into
thing.
that.
You got to drive your car with a seatbelt, but no one's bitching about that. Speaking of Kevin Smith,
yeah, well,
Yeah,
there you go. I'm wondering how much of this cancel culture is going to start getting some of our stuff. Did you see that they've removed some Seinfeld and The Office?
Yeah, well, here we go.
It's
all coming now. I don't.
Yeah,
yeah. Well, and the other side of it is, well, Saturday Night Live did a really funny skit before the end of the season where they had that Hollywood Squares, and they were saying certain things, and then but they pretended it was reruns, and so like the opinions expressed by Tori Spelling don't necessarily, but it was from like 1988 or something, and so the whole show was just a bzz, beep beep, like it was just really, really funny.
That's cool.
Yeah, there's so many things going on right now that the only thing that's made me super, super excited lately, outside of being on tour again and watching music and Megadeth and all these bands do shit all the time, which is really, really cool, obviously, was the announcement that Clerks 3 has wrapped. Yeah, so that's going to be really, really cool, because I just think of that cast before and after. Look at that. That's what was this guy's name? No, but what was the the kid's name?
Randall?
No, the other guy from movies.
Oh, sorry. Yeah, what was his name? Oh,
yeah. So, anyways, that's funny. And then also the emergence of these guys with some massive, massive, massive signings.
Called AEW. What was it? 2 years ago that we called? It was when it very first came out, man. That I was like, dude, this is the shit.
Look at this. Look at this.
It's
like the Leafs. It's like the Leafs signing McDavid, Crosby, and Stamkos all on the same day.
Did you see that Punk? Did you see the Punk fight against Darby Allin?
Yeah, it's great.
Holy crap! That whole thing was amazing. What a
they did a whole tribute. They did a whole tribute to Bret Hart on there too, which was great. So the Bret Hart 1-2-3 kid match from back in the 80s or early 90s, Punk and Darby did a tribute to it by doing some of the moves from that match.
Nice.
Yeah, it was really cool.
That is rad.
So,
I went to Toys R Us today, and they had the AEW belt there. I wanted to buy it, but it was like $50.
I know, it's crazy right now.
Oh, I wanted to buy it. And they have the figures and they finally have the figures now at Walmart, but they're all picked over, and I'm not buying the Young Bucks, man. I'm not a fan of the Young Bucks. I never was a fan of the Young Bucks. I never liked the Young Bucks. Not a fan, my friend. Not
I
a
was super
fan.
choked because I'm actually like in New York tomorrow, as mentioned. But if I could have made it to New York today, which we were trying to do, if I could have made it to New York City today, the WWE was at Madison Square Garden, and our boy Edge was there wrestling, and I was like,
Oh, wow.
that would have been fun to see. But, anyways, yeah, I haven't watched it very much on that side. I gotta say, but the AEW side, I can only really get the highlights. But yeah, man, it's been an interesting couple of months, and you've been doing some Sundays or Sundays on here, doing some stuff,
Yeah, I
which
was
is
doing some
cool.
comic book stuff, some deep nerd dives, man.
Yeah, which is awesome.
Hitting it hard.
Dean told me today, he's like, man, you guys, I get so far into it now. I'm like, after listening to Chris and all the rest of it, it's pretty funny. He got them
Cool.
all hooked.
Well, it was fun. Another thing I was looking at, I did a really cool deep dive on Star Wars. I did 2 of them, actually. But so after researching it more, that's the funny thing is I get into this stuff, right? And then I start looking at YouTube videos. And I was actually found a site on YouTube that will show you all the original scenes from the Star Wars movies that before they were rehatched
Yeah.
or redone. Wow, you see the Emperor back. Palpatine when he projected in for the very first time his face. He's got like holes here and there. So cool. So I'm really looking. So the new Star Wars movies, and you don't hear anything about new Star Wars right now, right?
No.
So, and the one thing we've discussed before was that whether George Lucas should come back and be a part of it. And we talked to the gentlemen that did the Stormtrooper movie, right?
Yeah.
And they were like, yes, obviously he should, like, oh my God. And then a lot of the newbies are like, no, don't bring George back. He's a dinosaur. So the more I'm looking into things and the more I'm realizing that the people you want to make these movies are the people that actually want to make a good movie. There's some guys out there who are, and it's more and more coming to light, that are more doing this for the money. You know what I mean? Excuse me. So so why wouldn't you get George Lucas back in there? Like, for one thing, there's no way George Lucas is making this movie for money. There's no way he's even thinking, well, they're going to make a lot of money over here. If you had him, Filoni, and Favreau make the new trilogy, which I don't understand why it hasn't been announced like yesterday.
No, but I heard they were not. They told him to stay out of it, or they told Lucasfilm to stay out of it.
Oh, well, that's what I'm saying. Like, well, that's ridiculous, though. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know why they wouldn't have announced them to do that.
Favreau said this.
Oh, Favreau, who knows? I can't see that after him having him out. Maybe he said that at one time, but I can't see that. Well, then I would get rid of Favreau and have Filoni, and then have Filoni and Lucas do it. Then, like, if Favreau doesn't want to be a part of that, man, take your big butt and get out of there, buddy. I don't know. That's no big deal, man. But here's the thing about George Lucas too, and George Lucas had so many Easter eggs in his movies. Okay, now let me explain here. Now, R2-D2 was told throughout the movies, stay with the ship. He never did that. Go back and watch. This is great, dude. This is great. This is some stuff I discovered that would just come up on my TikTok or whatever, right? Or I just researched. So there's R2, stay with the ship. 3PO tells him that. Luke Skywalker tells him that. So many people tell him that. He never does it. The last time he stayed with the ship was in Revenge of the Sith, before Anakin went to fight Obi-Wan, and he says to R2, stay with the ship, and he didn't leave the ship. Oh, Lucas. Come on, man. Now, here's another one. This is another one off the top of my head.
Why did he stay with the ship, do you think?
What do you mean? Because he was obeying orders.
Right.
And then after that happened, so that was probably the first time R2 was told, stay with the ship.
Right.
And what happened when he stayed with the ship? Bad stuff happened, man, to Anakin, right? Like, he was Anakin's droid, R2 was. Yeah. So every time after that, R2's like, yeah, sure, I'll stay with the ship. No, I'm going to come watch after you.
Yeah.
He was. Awesome. I'm going to come. So because if you think about this, dude, here's a great what if. What if R2 followed Anakin into that battle, dude? What would have happened? Maybe when he did that jump, R2 intervened and it didn't happen. Maybe he, who? Wow. Sure. There's a deep dive right there.
And how smart is R2? That's the other thing.
This is why I'm saying, what if R2 followed him, man? Holy shit, we got a whole new.
Maybe we'll get Lucas. Maybe we'll get Lucas directing something here. Maybe he'll direct an episode of The Mandalorian. Maybe.
Well, he should. I don't know. I just didn't like. There's so much I didn't like, and I went into that in my Machete Comics Live. If anybody wants to see that, man, I was pretty good at that. Really giving it to him. So here's another one that in Return of the Jedi, and this is brilliant because this is done before what Vader is going to reference. Now,
Yeah.
Skywalker's fighting Vader. Skywalker gets the higher ground. Vader stops and goes, "Whoa, Obi-Wan taught you well." Boom! Though that's a great Easter. And then to do it
That's an
later,
Easter, yeah.
to have that be the downfall of Vader.
Yeah.
But what came first? Return of the Jedi. Obi-Wan taught you well at that very moment. Lucas knew ahead of time that was going to be the moment, the higher ground moment. That is how Anakin was defeated by Obi-Wan, was Obi-Wan got the higher ground. And George Lucas knew this going into writing all this stuff in the 70s and 80s. That's what's missing from the new movies, man. That those built-in Easter eggs. That is hard to do. You can sample something from another movie and throw an Easter egg in there, but to create your own Easter eggs, fucking bravo, George Lucas. Bravo. So the more, it's funny, again, and this relates to the whole
I think I asked
thing.
this question.
Yeah.
When we were talking about it. Mike was very much against it. Hey, Mike.
Yeah,
Mike was
no,
very
I
much
know,
against
I
it,
know.
but I was like, should Lucas be involved with the next trilogy?
Yeah. Yeah.
And
then the other guys came in and said, "Oh hell, what, have George Lucas involved?" Yeah. You know what I mean?
Well, I mean, I definitely, even if there's an input thing involved, there has to. I feel like, you know,
just George Lucas should just write the basis, the outline of the new trilogy. He doesn't have to go in there and do all the detail and all the love stories. But man, here's the characters. This one's going to die here. This one goes here. Here's what they're fighting against, and here's their end result. Like, let Lucas
the
do
only
that.
person that truly understands that universe is him, because it's living in his head. Just like you know, you do. Let's say you do 25 issues of Skeletron, available now on Etsy, ladies and gentlemen. If you do Skeletron, let's say, you know, you do 25 episodes of Skeletron, and then you're like, and I'm bagged. Cool. I'm going to, somebody comes along and says, Chris, we're going to give you $100,000. We're going to give you $100,000. We want to take over this for $1 million. We're going to give you $5 million. We want you. We're going to take over Skeletron. We're going to take it away from you. And you're like, okay, I guess I'm going to retire and blah, blah, blah. And then they start writing it, and they have a general idea in their head as to where, you know, you might have taken it, but they have to basically make it up and go from there. It's the same thing that happened with Game of Thrones. The show went past the books, so they had to make up where they thought it was going to go. You're at some point just going to sit back on your money and go, okay. But at some point, you're probably going to be like, all right, guys, this is like not really my vision. I think I got to step back in. And then they go, hey, you can't come back in. And you're going to be like, okay, but the fans want it. The fans would like to see me, or some of them don't, but they still want Chris's vision of where Skeletron is going to go if they're going to wrap it up. And I would think that if there's going to be 10 and 11 and 12, that Lucas has to be the guy that goes, all right, the one thing you guys didn't touch on in these things was this. This is what I thought about when I made 4, 5, and 6. And if you're going to properly wrap it up properly, then you need to add these 7 things. And I want to be involved. And if they say no, I agree with you. I think it's stupid. So
yeah. So another. So you've read the. It's just dry in here, man. Holy cow! My wife's office. The cats hang out here a lot.
The cats.
Oh man, and I've been finding that when I was doing the other.
Yeah.
No, hopefully my wife's watching downstairs. Hi, Lonnie. Sorry.
Lonnie.
Cat. Holy cow.
Cats.
Breathe. Yeah, so what was I talking about there?
Well, you were saying, we were talking Easter eggs, and you were talking Star Wars.
Yeah.
And you were going to go somewhere else until the cats got involved with your brain.
Damn cats. Well, and so but taking the Star Wars in, okay, so I remember what I was saying. So when I was doing my deep dive on Machete Comics Live there, it's funny how if you go back and so instead of having Rey be the daughter of...
that would have been great.
Palpatine. Check this out. You just change that to Obi-Wan being the father, and all of a sudden it chain reacts through the story, and it just starts to straighten things out. Now here's another thing. I remember what I was gonna say, buddy. So kill off not Poe, but Finn. No, yeah, Poe. No, kill off Poe. Poe Dameron. Yeah, kill him off. You had the audience hating him. Yeah. Everybody hated him. Have him be something. Have him kill himself and be the martyr. Like, oh man, I guess he wasn't that bad of a guy. You know what I mean? Like, it was just, and then that is another chain reaction. Now check this out. Did you read the Timothy whatever books?
The Zahn books. Yeah, I've got Yeah, I have a few of them. Yeah.
Okay, the whole cloning of Luke. Did you read that?
Oh, I don't remember it, honestly.
Okay, so here's the thing. In the comic books, I think I mentioned this to you, is that when Vader cuts off Luke's hand,
Yeah. Oh, we talked about this. Yeah.
Palpatine grabs it. Palpatine
Right.
gets Luke's hand. And in the books that you're talking about,
Yeah.
uh, they take that hand and they clone Luke, and there's another Luke. How cool would it be if that Luke in those movies was that clone Luke?
Right. That
That
would
they
have been.
could do that,
Yeah.
because that is the other thing, that they took the Luke that I loved when I was a kid and just shit all over him. You know what I mean? Like the Luke in the newer movies was it's just an ass. It was pathetic. It was so. Wouldn't that be something if he was just the clone? I don't know how else you'd save
You're gonna
that.
blow
That form
everyone's
of
brain
Luke.
out. You're gonna blow all their
Yeah,
heads
because
off.
they're bringing in what's his name there, Thrawn, right? And Thrawn
Yeah.
was the one that was in that story with everything. So it's just a thought, like because I don't know
I still
how
think they're gonna
talking.
clean up. I think they're gonna clean up all this shit in the
I hope
Mandalorian.
so. Well,
I think
they're
they're gonna
starting
try.
to in the
Yeah.
comic books. They're really starting to. The book right now that everybody's buying is the Bounty Hunter battle, and it's the Han. So this is in between Empire and
Return
Jedi,
of the Jedi.
and yeah. So Boba Fett leaves with Han Solo,
Yeah.
but he gets hit by these other bounty hunters, and it's this big bounty hunter war for Han Solo. So and Luke's going for them. So there's all these behind the scenes stories that are going on with how Han Solo made it to Jabba the Hutt, and it wasn't from point A to point B. Oh, it's
Yeah.
such a great
I
story.
can't wait for the Boba Fett thing.
Well, that's going to be fantastic. Again, that those are the ones that I really like now and I really watch for, because I find that Marvel, much like their comic books, is their movies are all getting watered down, and they're all getting too safe. And here's another one, like Scarlett Johansson needs more money. She needs to sue Disney. What the F, man? And then the Favreau brothers. We may not make another movie. Do or do not, my friend. Have you not learned
Not
anything?
Favreau. It's the other guys.
Who is it? Sorry, not Favreau. I'm
not the
sorry. No, it is. I
Favreau.
apologize.
The other guys that did the Endgame.
Because that pissed me off. What are those names though? Because they put their kids in all the movies and they always stare at the camera when they're on the scene.
I forget their names.
What are those guys' names? The something brothers.
You talk. I'll research.
Oh my gosh. So Scarlett Johansson sues Disney. Okay, dude, if you make money off that, you better be giving that to charity.
I said that from the get go.
What the
I mean,
F, dude?
take a stance, and be like, sure, I should have. It's like anything. It's like, okay, listen, this is the contract to do the movie, but we're gonna put it out on if your deal is all back end loaded, and then they're gonna take that back end away from you. I get it,
Yeah.
because the fight for women to get paid equal quality for women is very much a lot. I understand her saying, listen, I should be making $50 million on this if Robert Downey Jr. is making $50 million on this. I get it. But where it, for me, it like the next thing though is I would love to have her be like, great, I won. All the deals need to be structured now to take into account straight to streaming.
Yeah.
And here's half the money to rebuild a town.
It's a brand new system. It's like anything that's not going to work out perfect at first. Like, sorry, ScarJo, that it happened to happen on your movie.
Russo brothers.
Like, okay, let me get to that one. See, I love this. I get to nail these people. Okay, but seriously, dude, how much taxpayers' money is going to go towards her court case? How much money are these skanky lawyers going to make off this court case, off of a classic Black Widow character that I care so much for? Screw you, ScarJo. That's bullshit, man. She could have went about this differently. Way differently than taking people, like, you know what I'm saying, with all the money that's going out to all these people that don't deserve it, and all the money that's being taken just so
I'm going to go the other way. I'm going to go the other way. I'm going to say she's within her right to get what's coming to her, but the deal was done, and that's Hollywood, and that's the deal was done, and I think the studio should make good and be like, here's the back end that we promised, here you go. But then I think that she should, put that win into the arts again.
Perspective, she should put something, maybe?
Yeah, so she may still do
Hopefully
that. I don't think she's evil. I think she's going after her contract. I think it's like anything else, right?
I think there's a better way to go about it than as I say, like giving these greedy lawyers more money and take how much.
Somebody had to do it first. Somebody had to do it
take?
first, because everyone's getting hammered by this straight to streaming thing.
Well, they need to work that out before they sign any contracts. Then.
Right,
That's all it is, man. I've sold artwork and thought, wow, I could have made more money off that. Well, sorry, Chris. Come on, you know what I'm saying?
Totally.
Now the Rougeau, now the other brothers, what are their names?
Let's call them the Rougeau brothers, but they're called the.
They're not the Rougeau brothers, the fabulous Rougeau brothers.
I am the Mountie. The best. Yeah, the Russo brothers.
Russo brothers. All right.
Yeah.
So now they say they may not make another Marvel movie. Have you not learned from being part of Disney? Do or do not, you sons of bitches. Then get out of the way and let a Marvel writer do it. Stop having your kids in the movie staring at the screen, at the camera all the time. Do you ever tell your kids you don't supposed to stare at the camera when you're on scene there?
I've never noticed it, but it's going to bug me now.
Oh, when they go for the autograph for the Hulk there, watch for it. He looks at Hulk, looks at the camera, looks at Hulk. You just want to reach in there and grab him. See, I'm having fun here, though. I'm not really a jerk towards kids.
What about here? You going to go here? Have you checked this out yet? Shang-Chi.
Oh, of course I'm going to see that. It looks great. Abomination's in there. And, of course, I've already cheated and saw the extra scenes on YouTube because that's just me. But I've done that. But that looks cool there. Yeah, no, Abomination's coming back. Tim Roth, one of my favorite actors ever, you know. You put him and Samuel Jackson in the same scene, and I'm just loving it. That's, great stuff there, dude. Great stuff. And then the Eternals coming up with one of my favorite actresses, Selma Hayek, man. I can't wait to see her do justice to that. Like, these are some top-level actors and actresses coming out here, in some of these. And as I mentioned, the Eternals is going to be the sleeper hit. It already is in the comic books, the new ones that are coming out. Which, again, to keep grinding gears here, man, the new comic books are going the way of the movies. The drawings look like they were just traced from real life.
We need to get Ken Lashley back on. We got to get
no more Jack Kirby. Like, he couldn't do that poses, or John Byrne cleanness without losing the edge. Yeah, he might disagree with me though, but so that might be a good conversation. Because I even my comic book guys now, Mark and Adam, the guys, they say the same thing, man. They say, and the prices are going down because the art all looks the same. You don't have that one guy like Simon Bisley, right, who used to draw Lobo, who'd be like, whoa, look at that guy's art. And then you'd go to Rob Liefeld, who like never drew feet or anything, but everything was dynamic. And then there'd be Todd McFarlane just having everything come just perfect. And then John Byrne again. Now it's just like all the same. Everything looks the same, and it sucks. So I've cut my list down, as I mentioned on my my other Chris's Live Comics. I've cut my list like in half. So I'm just buying. I would rather buy like dollar books, man.
Yeah. I want to do the so for season 2, which is going to come up here in October, my friends, when we Chris and I are actually together in Ontario in a couple weeks. We'll launch season 2 properly. But I want to do Chris's Stash, and we'll have a little segment called Chris's Stash.
I just because it's fall now, so my stash is pretty large in the garage. It's all hanging up.
The other stash.
Oh, the other stash.
Comics.
Oh, my comic book and toy.
You know what I'm
stash.
saying there? Yeah, so Chris's Stash. Look for that segment. Look for that segment this year. We had so much fun with Todd and all our guests in season 1 talking about favorite toys and retro toys and stuff. It was so cool. And I just saw Todd the other day in Vegas. He says hello.
Nice.
And little coffee. He's playing tonight with Steven Adler and Sebastian Bach.
I saw that.
Yeah, in a place. So that's kind of rad. And but anyway, so look for a whole bunch of new segments coming up too. I think we're gonna have some fun.
We will.
As we're growing through and coming off of.
You get to hear me grind my gears about pop culture.
Woo! We'll get into that. Yeah, we're
gonna get fun though.
Probably some more yelling and screaming.
We didn't even talk about the What If series that's out yet, right?
Yeah,
Stash you read, not smoke, laugh out loud. You got it, Kim.
There's a whole. Oh, wait, where are we going here? We got a chat. Let's get that chat going. And it just popped up. There we go. There we go. Hi, Kim. Yeah, a few of our regulars are back. Look, our friends that are paying attention right now, we are in the process of redesigning YouTube. It will be launching, I believe, at the beginning of next week. We're going to start a whole bunch of micro content from season 1. So look for that over the next couple of weeks leading into the launch of season 2. And tell your friends. Tell your friends to get over there and subscribe because, we like to get it out there and we like talking about this kind of stuff. You know what I mean?
Yeah, we'll get to Jeff. Jeff did a few shows there too with Moist. We'll get Jeff on, see how he's doing.
Yeah. Their whole tour canceled. Their whole tour canceled.
They did a few, and so did Chuck. Chuck got a few in there with Mother Earth.
Yep. Yeah, that's great, and it's awesome. And obviously down here has been a little bit nuts, doing these shows. But we're trying. Here's a little clip from the other night. I guess I'm too high def there, but he's like, I asked you to go to the Green Day concert, and everyone was like losing their mind. It was like it's one time that Rivers is like knew at some point he was going to be doing a tour with Green Day, and that line was going to work. Speaking of Easter eggs, and he also reminds me very much right now of Garth from Wayne's World.
Yeah, the hairdo going on there.
He's got the mullet, but when he speaks into the mic, he's like, "Thank you. All right then. We're gonna play a song now. Here we go." It's like very much he's playing the part. So
right on.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. So yeah, it's so you're gonna go see some shows. You're gonna go see Cancer Bats. You're gonna see any other shows? Other than you're gonna come to my show. You're gonna come to my show, yeah.
Yeah, I'll check out the Megadeth show. And I'm going to see protests coming around, I believe. So I'm gonna go see them.
Wicked.
Other than that, it's the scene. It's not a real heavy scene around here. It really isn't. There's a lot of hipster stuff coming through that I'm really, not digging.
Kim, is that Kim? Kim, are you is that Southern Carolina? What's SC stand for? Kim, my friend.
SC, that's SC. What is SC, Kim?
Skugog? Kim?
Salt Lake City?
Salt Lake, no. Coming anywhere near SC, but is that, is that South Carolina? Is that what you're referring to? Because I'm not that close to there. I think I go through the
South
east.
Carolina. There you go.
Yeah, north. Yeah, Kim. Just have a look at Megadeth's tour. I'm gonna be in the east mostly for the next little bit, and then I think that's basically it. I think we cut down to Arkansas and some of those places, and then St. Louis. I get to St. Louis, and then we get back up and finish up in Canada. So, hey, let me know if you can make a show. Come on out and rock out. Always
there you go. So
always great to meet some of our listeners and watchers. It's great.
Yeah. Check Brent out at the Megadeth show. Just ask for Brent. They know who he is.
They won't know.
I know that guy. He's in the bubble over here. So have they had to drop some shows?
No, actually we're rolling here.
Nice.
Thankfully, knock on wood. Some of the other tours have gone down, but we're COVID testing every single day, every other day. Everybody on tour. Everyone's basically staying in a bubble. We haven't really done too much. Anything that people are doing is outside. So I've been golfing a bit and going to coffee shops and kind of doing my thing and running, just walking towns. But everyone's been pretty much just sticking to themselves. It's a new way of touring. I was telling Taylor, because your daughter's going to go out touring soon, and I said it's all different now. I said, unfortunately, it's a new way of touring that you're not. This is the only way of touring she's gonna see now. But the new way is upon us, which is basically show's done, go and hang out in your hotel and don't leave.
Yeah,
because if it goes down, it's just that's it. The tour's done.
Yeah,
it's over.
So she's aware. She's I lecture her here and there. I'm just like, you make sure you're careful out there. I just throw that in whenever we discuss it. Just make sure you're careful. Yes, Dad.
Well, everyone, like this tour is so weird because it's like, most people are like metal tour and blah blah blah, but I'm like, listen, it's the quietest backstage I've ever seen in 20 years. There's no one around. Number two, everyone is doing their own thing. They're kind of in their own place. It's quite lovely, actually. And then the other side of it, because there's just less people to wrangle and manage. And who are you? And mind you, I haven't done a hip hop tour yet, so that's probably.
What's next after Megadeth?
I don't know just yet. There's a couple things on the docket. I think there's a tour that's about to be announced by some act in that hip hop world that I might be a part of. But most of my thing, I think, will be 22 for me, and then it's going to be full on 22. So
nice. There you go.
I believe, provided the world gets to a spot, because Europe is still wacky and it's still tough to actually do shows over there right now.
Yeah.
And if you can't put 6 weeks together, there's no point in going.
No, of course not. No. So I'm gonna make another bold prediction here on our show.
Stand by. Let me isolate the camera here. Chris Machete making a bold prediction.
It is. Go. So this is kind of a sad bold prediction though. But I've been watching Billie Eilish.
Billie Eilish.
Oh boy, I'm predicting that within another 2 years she's gonna go the way of the pop female star. You know what I'm saying?
Okay, so there's some data coming back.
Did it already happen? Am I like?
No. There's some data coming back on just in general. that
On what? What do you mean data?
perhaps her album didn't sell, or well, obviously no one's selling records, but it just didn't do the business that people thought it was going to do. And obviously, when you
Right.
can't tour, it's when you can't tour on it, it's going to be a problem.
Well, that
But
is
she's going to
really
be
tough.
touring next year.
Yeah.
I'm a fan of talent. So if she keeps pushing ahead, her and her brother, and they keep pushing the envelope a bit on how he's producing those records and changing things up, then she'll always be that artist where people are like, oh, what is she going to do next? The minute they take the foot off the gas and
Mhm.
it starts becoming woo girl, it's all over.
So in like 2 years.
Yeah.
So when they're sick of
Cheers.
each other and they burn out, so like in 2 years, right? And then it'll be
Mhm.
like, I don't know what to do anymore, but I got to keep making money. It's like, okay, here's what we're gonna do. You're gonna wear this, and this guy's gonna write a song for you, and these girls are gonna dance with you, and here's what we're gonna do. So sadly, so that's my prediction. I hope not. I really hope not.
Talent wins. I'm really hoping that she can pull through that side of it.
I watched some of that documentary. I caught a little bit here and there, and I'm kind of like, oh. If I was her dad, I'd be concerned.
Yeah.
Oh, and I also watched
Well,
a really
pop
good.
stars rarely break 35. They're all break at 18, right? So
Yeah,
that's a
So
lot of growing up to do.
another great show about a child star is Kid 90, about Punky Brewster
I know.
growing up. She documented everything.
Wow.
Wow. If you're into the
her show
kids, like, pardon me.
Her show they just had her come back, but her show just got
Yeah.
canceled.
Well, that's fine because I'm sure her show sucked. But this documentary, dude, because she's another one of those people like Val Kilmer, who his documentary is great as well.
Yeah, love it.
Punky Brewster videotaped everything. So it was funny to see her go to a school and say, nobody, don't do drugs. I don't do drugs, blah, 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 stay in school. And then after that, go to a desert and and eat mushrooms and hang out. Like, and it's like, holy shit, man. Like, what the F? Like, and all these actors around her that you could see on video or hear calling her and
Who was the
basically
main one?
saying, I'm going to kill myself. And later on, they did kill themselves. And she's like, and they showed them at the end, man. Wow. But it was, and they say she lost her virginity to Charlie Sheen. Whoa. Like, whoa, how creepy is that, man? That's not cool. not that a lot of people probably didn't lose their virginity to Charlie Sheen, but man.
Charlie.
So 90 Kid or Kid 90, it's about, I can't pronounce her name. I can't, whatever.
Soleil Moon Frye.
There you go.
Or Soleil.
Man.
Soleil Moon Frye.
Yeah. So it's her documentary, and it's all from her talking point of view, and see her hanging out with the kids, from the 90210 when they were younger, and from Saved by the Bell, they're all growing up in the spotlight, and really, really cool documentary. I just watched it over my morning coffee the other day, and I thought it was awesome.
I really love the Val. I just watched the Val Kilmer thing the other day. I read his book
Isn't
a
that
couple
good?
months ago, and the book is great because the book dives. The documentary is a cool kind of piece together of his life, but the book is really good too because he speaks about all his individual things. You know what I mean? Like all of his individual movies that he did, and sort of some of the really cool stuff about Heat, about Batman, and how they wanted him to go right into Batman, and he's like, no. That's why they've replaced him with George Clooney.
Yeah, they showed that on the thing there.
Because he's like, I'm gonna do the Saint. I want the Saint to be my franchise, and that kind of tanked. But he also went and worked Heat. Great story. He went and worked Heat with Pacino and De Niro, and his agent called him and said, "You're out of your mind. It pays less per diem. Like you're making less than your per diem on Batman. Like you'll make like $150 a day or whatever it is. Like you're not going to make any money." He's like, "It doesn't matter because for the rest of my life, I can say that I was in a movie with Al Pacino and Robert De Niro, and it was the first movie that they did together officially since The Godfather. And then where they actually shared a scene, and he goes, and I can call them Al and Bob the rest of my life, and that's worth more than anything in the world because he's a pretty eccentric guy, as you can tell from the documentary.
In the documentary, he had a list of people he wanted to work with and work for. And one of them was Stanley Kubrick, I believe, and he was making movies for him. Like he would make a short for him.
Yeah, he went and showed up, yeah.
And so he thought, but his voice, he's got a computer thing. He's got so many samples of his voice out there that they've managed to sample them all together and put it in there so we can talk again.
For movies.
Yeah, right. Like
not in real life, he still has to push it. But for if he wants to act in a movie, they can put his voice over top of it. He's done a bit of acting. He's done a bit of acting lately with that, but they just added the tech like in the last 6 months
Yeah.
to his voice, which is crazy.
The best I thought, dude, in the documentaries when he confronts the guy doing that movie, Dr. Moreau.
Alan, Dr. Morrow, yeah.
He confronts the director and he said he's got it. He says, "Look, you just said you're going to quit the movie. Turn the camera off." No. You got it. Everybody. Brando was there, and that was one of his things, is because he wanted to work with Brando. Brando was on his list, and that was like the worst movie because they kept changing directors, and it was just a pain in the ass. But
I remember seeing that movie going, "What the hell is this?"
Yeah, weird, huh? It was pretty wild. Yeah, I've been watching. I did the Goodfellas and the Casino double play there the other day. It was great.
Oh my God, The Many Saints of Newark is on the way out October 1st. The Sopranos prequel. I am so very stoked. And again, to everyone listening or watching, you have to listen to Talking Sopranos. Okay, it's literally Bobby and Christopher breaking down every episode of The Sopranos scene by scene.
That's awesome.
It's the greatest podcast next to ours that I've heard. It's just so good. So I'm so stoked about this new show. It's gonna be great.
Wicked. Right on.
That, my friends, is an hour. We got so season 2. A couple things. Let's get to some housekeeping here. A couple things. Season 2, roughly around October the 2nd or 3rd ish, depending on my schedule when I'm in Chris's area. And then we'll actually do it live from maybe the cat room, or we'll do it from somewhere.
Yeah.
Somewhere there. We'll do it there. So look out for that.
I just set up the drums in the garage.
I saw your picture today, yeah.
I got the guitar out there. It was funny. My buddy next door, he plays drums, and he comes over, and he's like, "Oh, cool, man." I said, "You want to play these? I'm going to go for a ride on my bike." So I went for a ride on my bike, and there was like people out every other house, whenever, and they're all looking back up towards my place, all like out in the road, like, what? I was like, "It's okay, folks, just testing the sound." Like, "Oh, okay, buddy." But I had the garage door wide open and everything. I got great neighbors here.
I'll come.
So we'll go in the garage. We'll have that'll be awesome. We'll have a jam session and everything.
Kim's never seen The Sopranos. Kim, that's your mission.
There you go.
That's your mission starting right now. Get going.
I like it, Kim. It's good
You're
show.
going to love that shit. So I'm currently traveling. I'm not traveling with my Blue microphone. I have my portable setup with me, but we want to thank our friends for sponsoring us in season 1 on Blue microphones. They were awesome. They gave us the Blue Yeti X, and they gave us the Mixify headphones, which was awesome. And so a huge thanks to them for sponsoring us last year. We are looking to bring on a few more this year. So stand by. Some new sponsors coming on board our way for sure. That's happening. The numbers don't lie. So it's happening. So stand by for that. When it comes to that, comic books. Let's get some free comic books. Chris, tell us about this.
That's my comic book. That's issue 2. I think we got 25 issues left of that. Between 25 and 30 issues left of that.
Yeah.
There's 3 golden tickets that were randomly inserted in the comic books. 2 people have claimed them. Congratulations to Jimmy Walker.
Dynamite.
Yeah, Jimmy Walker. Congratulations, Jimmy Walker. And he picked the Carnage picture, which I should have prepared a little more. Sorry. I could have showed you what he picked. The second winner, we have a second claim, but he hasn't picked his prize yet, so I'm not going to just tell who that is. And the third ticket's still out there. Woo! It's great, though. Basically move a comic book a day, which is awesome, man. For an independent comic company, man, we're loving it. So that's why I say I got about 30 copies left. Issue 3 we're working on right now, and basically what we do is when the first one sells out, put out the next one. We're on issue 3 here soon.
Awesome.
It's all done.
Bye.
Gotcha.
You can see it. Shop at Machete Comics Etsy store, as you see right there. We're gonna run a little
Machete Comics, one word at the Etsy shop.
We're gonna run a little thing from our friends in Blue. Stand by.
Blue.
Awesome. Well, dude, great to see you again. And
good to see you, man.
Fun to be out here. We will do this again. Next time you see us will be the kickoff to season 2. But you can catch Chris on here off and on. Doing the thing. He's got lots.
Ripping on comics, and I promote some good stuff too. I just usually I like to get on. I gotta be the negative guy on Kids on the Escalator because I know too much about stupid stuff. Anyway, it's good to see you again, buddy.
Yeah, man. Great to see you. Rock and roll. And my friends, everyone out there listening, thank you so much for listening and watching. Catch us on Kids on the Escalator on all your platforms. Please, super encouraging. please go to YouTube and sign up over there. Subscribe. Some great content from season 1 on the way. Kim, thank you so much. You're the
Thanks,
fan.
Kim.
You're the fan of season 1. You were on almost every episode, so thank you so much for hanging out and doing all that. So maybe we'll send you a little something from our new sponsors down the road. That, my friends, has been Kids on the Escalator podcast. Randomly pre-season 2 preview ish. Oh, also, how stoked are we for this? Yeah, it's coming. Season 3 of The Boys.
Oh, yeah.
Perfectly timed. We'll talk about that another time, too. Good times, my friend.
Rad dudes.
Yeah.
Slayer.